Hello and welcome back to Gundam of Gundams. I'm Josh,
This is Amy.
and this is our Gquuuuuux series review.
Yes, it's taken us a little time to process it, and we watched Gquuuuuux through another time after doing all of our deep dives, so I think we kind of got all of our thoughts together now.
Yep. I guess general thoughts first. I thought it was a really fun ride. My feelings about it are positive overall. Characters are okay. The fights are really good. That kind of carries a lot of water in a mecha show. Like if the fights are good, fights are really good. I'm not very sure about about some of the designs overall, I guess, still.
Yeah, I know that you're probably still iffy on the Gquuuuuux itself.
Yeah, I don't particularly like the Gquuuuuux design still. But the redesign of the RX-78 has grown on me a little bit. I still don't like the head.
Is there anything else besides the head you don't like?
I don't know, like not particularly. I think like the weird like hard points sticking off of the knee and like the arms are kind of weird. But that's kind of about it.
Any of the other like suit designs that you really liked, or?
The DOMs look really cool, especially like they had like the extra leg on the back that kind of comes down and forms like a bigger booster.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. The Gquuuuuux gyms were kind of funny. I thought that was kind of neat and kind of funny at the same time.
Yeah, it was kind of funny that we got both like the original Gquuuuuux and then we got the Gquuuuuux Gquuuuuux all in the same series. So
Yep. Kikoroga was interesting because it was just a brow bro, but it transformed.
into a stick bug man.
Yeah.
I guess me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. I really liked the ride. It was a really fun ride. So overall, mostly positive. We'll get into some of the cons that I did pick up throughout, especially after our second rewatch. But for the most part, really fun ride. We'll go into like more of what I thought about the characters later on when we go into the deep dive. But for the most part, like you said, they're pretty good. We'll go into more deep dive, I guess, when we get there. But that'll go into more of my, I guess, cons in that. But characters are fine. I don't mind the Gquuuuuux design. It's just kind of in the middle for me. It's kind of like, it's there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate it. I don't love it. Like, the Red Gundam and the redesigned RX-78 too. I think it's pretty cool. Just because it has the more of the industrial look to everything. And that's what kind of like the theme I was getting throughout the whole, like, mecha redesign here. So, I'm cool with that. I like the Kikoroga was funny with the little stick bug man that sticks out. It has the big butt on the end. So if they ever do like a high grade of that one, I'd probably get it just because it looks fun. Still waiting on my Red Gundam high grade, just because it got back ordered again at Hobby Link. Just gonna mention that really fast. The mobile, like the actual like animation stuff, like the fights and stuff, they were really good.
Yeah.
It felt like whoever was doing it, they did a really good job mixing like the 3D and then the 2D stuff. But like every time when we had like, we were taking pictures for our episodes, it's like, dang, that looks really good. So somebody, really, really cared about those mobile suit battles. So
Yeah. Like for me personally, episode 1 was a little iffy at times, to me.
yeah.
But as we went on, I was like, okay, this is starting to look really good. And then like the final episodes looked really good.
Yeah, so whoever was doing, especially the mecha fight animations, my gosh, man, you put a lot of hard work into that, and I think people can tell for sure. Even some of the character animations, I remember just like the little part with like Machu like walking down the stairs and stuff, in that Shiko episode. Oh my god, that was so smooth. But even like the character animation itself was pretty good.
Yeah.
And the character designs are fine. I like that. They gave Shalia like the biggest glow up ever. So
From looking like he was like 50 or 60 to looking like he's like 30 or something.
something like that. But now I can't go on X or anything without like seeing like fan art of Shalia, and like it's like Daddy Shalia with his like new hot like self. I don't know, but. Now I just can't go on X or anywhere without seeing like fan art of Shalia, which is just kind of hilarious now.
Yeah.
But yeah, characters were good. I will say probably besides like the tribute music to like 0079 or like the Zeta stuff that we got later on, I don't remember a lot of like the instrumental music. So it was just kind of there. I could tell you like some of the insert songs, like the insert like when you see Deanne in her apartment and stuff. Like I know what that song is, but like the actual instrumental music itself, not too much. So it did its job to, I guess, set the tone for everything. But like there's like not a track that really sticks out to me.
Yeah, the music does its job, but it's not memorable in any kind of way, really.
It's not like when you hear like, I don't know, the Zeta music that comes on when you see the Psycho Gundam come on, you're just like, oh. I don't know if everybody was doing that, but like, yeah, like you could tell like when like the 0079 stuff or like the Zeta stuff came on in the screen, you're just like, yeah, that was memorable. But like the rest of the tracks that were just instrumental, they were okay. Like nothing to really like, I guess talk about that much, but they did their job, That's what I thought.
Yeah. Honestly, there's not much to really say. I mean, it could be worse. Like, the fact that we don't really remember the music and it didn't, like, hurt the scene at all, that means that the music did its job, really.
Yeah, it could be way worse. Like, if they had, like, tried to do something like this didn't totally match with, like, what the animation was showing us, then we would have like noticed it for sure. It would have been just like that, nail that just needed to like be hit back in. But like, it was there, and
it was there. It served the scene. Unfortunately, it's not really memorable, but it did its job, and that's still a plus.
Exactly.
It's not like the basement music from Resident Evil 1, where it just sounds like farting trumpets.
Yeah, that too. But like, for other Gundam series, like you can think of like, yeah, I know that song. Like I can name you like G Gundam tracks or Gundam Seed tracks because like they're just so good. Like they're just so memorable.
Yeah.
So it's not like that, but at the same time, they did their job.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there any other kind of aesthetics you want to discuss, or just like anything spoiler free?
I don't think so, because we went over the mobile suit design, we went over animation, which was really nice, music, just kind of general character stuff. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think maybe it's time to go into the deep dive.
Yep, the deep dive.
It's like the iceberg, you just go.
All right. Let's just kind of go over the plot first, I guess, and then we'll talk about the pros and cons after that, like what we liked, what we didn't like.
Okay.
All right. So, do we want to go episode by episode, or do we want to go like chronologically?
I'll let you start off as you will, I guess, and then I don't care how we do it because obviously it's going to cover like the whole story anyway. So.
All right. I guess I'll do this chronologically since The other way, we'd have to do like multiple flashbacks.
Okay.
Yeah. So, story starts. Char steals the Gundam. In, you know, instead of why am I forgetting?
Amuro?
No, was it Jean?
Oh, you mean so that
Yep.
Jean goes into the colony versus Char goes into the colony?
Yeah. Char goes into the colony instead of Jean. He ends up capturing the Gundam. He destroys pretty much everything there. Captures the white base. Kills Captain Paolo. No matter what, that guy,
He gets the short end of the stick.
guy gets the short end of the stick. Lala didn't care about him.
Nope.
Nope.
But he didn't really like completely destroy everything because he didn't like target like the random civilians too. So he kept it to like the military installations. He kept it very clean.
Yeah. The Earth Federation, for some reason, sends out the RX-78-1 along with a captured Zaku-2 to try and get back the RX-78-2.
Yeah, and we were talking about this through the rewatch, and we're like, they're like jumping the gun here because
It's like, why would you do this?
They could have used this one for more research to develop their mobile suit programs more, and then kind of made it more of like a, I guess, an even kind of scale in terms of like mobile suit development between Earth Forces and Zeon. But by sending out, you know, the first one right away to, you know, try to get back, I guess, the Gundam and, you know, the Soden or I guess the white base, but it just seems like they really jumped the gun.
Yeah, it's a stupid strategy considering, like, okay, so the worst thing that could happen is either both get captured or the one you sent out gets destroyed, which happens. The neutral thing that could happen is that, okay, now you guys both have a Gundam.
And you can use the RX-78-1 to like build data and, you know, make better mobile suits still. You might have still had like gems or something eventually come out.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Unit 1 and Unit 2 at this point in the timeline should not be very different at all. Like there might be like a slight armor difference, but it should be pretty much the same.
Yeah, because I know that it's in the origin kind of like that too. It shows up, so.
Yeah, like they should both be very similar.
With a few minor tweaks.
Yeah, with like a few minor tweaks. But no, you had to send out the other one.
Yeah, it just seems like a really big loss for the Earth Forces there.
Yeah, very bad planning. But anyways, like we said, Char destroys those. And Zeon kind of reverse engineers the Gundam, repairs the white base, which gets turned into the Sodon, and they paint it green.
Yeah, you would think like they would have like made some more aesthetic choices to that. I don't know. It kind of is off-putting with the green color. I'm not gonna lie.
You just want a giant face in there.
Yeah, you're gonna do like the giant Zeon face, like on like the Musai or something.
Yeah. After that, we don't get to see much of what Char does in the war.
Nor do we get to see how kind of the war progresses, which is kind of a shame.
It's very disappointing. I would love a show that's just that, honestly.
And, you know, I think they talked about some aspects in like the guides they handed out in the Japanese theaters, but of course we don't really have access to it. I know that Zeonic did some translations of it too, so you guys can read them. I would read them, but like I would definitely like to see kind of like how the war shaped out a little bit more.
Yeah. Eventually, Char gets assigned the Sodon along with the Red Gundam. The Red Gundam gets the Saikamu system that the Elmeth was going to get put into the Core Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm kind of thinking about it now. Like the Elmeth was created for that, and now they're just going to miniaturize it and put it in the Core Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much like. Well, I mean, because they had the Gundam too, so maybe that helped technology-wise too. But like, I wonder like how small like it is compared to the Elmeth's one, because it seems like it's really huge in that cockpit.
Yeah. War goes on. Char is testing out the Saikamu along with Charlie Bull, who just came back from Jupiter.
He had a really nice backstory.
Very nice backstory, where, like, I don't know, like the ships are like malfunctioning before they can plot their way back from Jupiter.
Like he's about to kill himself.
Yeah, he's
man.
about to kill himself, and I'm sure like a bunch of other people are
Probably
trying
the
to
same
think
boat,
that,
yeah.
like riding the same boat. Some probably did already. We don't really have confirmation of that.
But yeah, it was a really nice backstory though. Then the animation on that was really nice too.
Oh yeah, I really like the animation on that.
So anyway, back to the main story.
Yep. And eventually it all culminates to the second Battle of Solomon, where the Earth Federation are dropping Solomon onto Granada, a city on the moon.
Yeah, and basically where Cassilia is, and all like basically the I guess military kind of technology things are happening too. So
Yes, and they're kind of doing this because Luna 2 is probably about to be captured.
yeah, it's kind of their last-ditch attempt to do anything in space, because I think they already acknowledge in that scene that yeah, we're pretty much done in space. There's nothing we can do up here anymore.
Yeah. Now, okay, so Char comes up with a plan. He's gonna destroy all the generators in there, kind of blow it apart. He kind of sabotages his own plan so that he could kill Cassilia. And then Sayla stops him.
Yeah.
She's in a light cannon. Apparently she's the one who kills Dozel in this timeline.
It's neat. I like Sayla doing something more, so
Yep. I wish she had voice lines.
that would have been nice too.
Yeah. It would have been nice. But we'll get to Sayla later because
Yeah,
she's
that's
going to be a
character, yeah.
topic later.
Yes, she is. Yeah, but anyways, like they battle. He gets kind of like stuck in the rubble.
Which, by the way, we did notice that, okay, so Sayla's using the Gundam hammer, right? The Gundam hammer gets left kind of where the red Gundam is. So
Yeah.
that's probably where Shuji got that hammer.
Yeah, so it got Zeknovid with Char at the same time. So we were like, where did he get the Gundam hammer? And then we were like, oh yeah, we're stupid.
Yeah, like, neither of us noticed that on the first watch. But then Solomon changes course because of the Zeknova, and no one knows where Char is.
Nor do they know where the Rose is. The Rose of Sharon,
Yeah, the Rose of Sharon.
which we found out is the Elmeth.
Yep, the Elmeth from a different timeline.
I was thinking though that did Lala create that Zeknova kind of like, and we'll go into this later with the whole Zeknova concept too, but like, did she sense maybe that Char could possibly die there because he was trapped in the rubble? Is that why that Zeknova happened?
It possibly could have, because that's her whole goal here.
Is to make sure that Char lives.
Yeah.
So he technically would have died to the white mobile suit, kind of, but it would have been Sayla this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Zeknova takes Char somewhere. We don't know if the Zeknova just throws him in a different location, if it's like a time thing where like he time jumps a little bit and then he's in a different location. All we know is that Char ends up somewhere, and then the Rose ends up eventually on Earth too. So
Yes. Now we fast forward 5 years.
I don't know.
Shoo!
Yeah, shoot.
All right, so we fast forward 5 years. We go to Side 6. We are introduced to a character named Machu, or
Amate.
yeah, Amate. I don't know why I couldn't say it there for some reason.
You're just so used to calling her Machu.
Yeah,
It's so much easier
It's
anyway.
so much easier, honestly. Machu gets this text, like, let's get back the beginning, which we're still unsure about who that comes from, by the way.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, I think, during character time, too.
And she witnesses another character, Nian, running away from security, because she's a smuggler.
Yes. Like Han Solo.
Yeah, just less cool.
Yeah, just less cool. But yeah, she ends up getting that piece of tech, which is basically a key to unlock those mobile suits. So in this world, they basically have this key. It's kind of like in Gundam X too, where you have like the controller you had to stick in. So
except this key unlocks like the weapon systems.
yeah, so you can still move the mobile suit without it, but it becomes like combat ready when you actually put the key in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that drags her into. I mean, she eventually gets Nian to tell her what it is because she looks it up on Wikipedia and she's like, "Oh God, it's like illegal contraband."
Yep. And then Machu kind of gets excited, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, she does.
She's like, "I'm gonna start some trouble." But she kind of goes along with Nian on her delivery. She meets the Pomeranians. It's a junk guild, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then that's when Xavier starts fighting the Red Gundam outside, and then the battle comes inside the colony, starts a huge ruckus, have military police, Zaku's, just investigating the area.
Yeah, they're like ripping apart like all these like refugee like camps and stuff, so yeah, it gets nasty and Machu doesn't like that, so that's when she decides to jump in. There's Zaku, I guess, but that's not good enough for her. She doesn't like it, so when she basically gets her ass handed to her, she sees the Gquuuuuux kind of like just there.
Open, sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't know why Xavier got out.
Don't ask me. Yeah, I don't know why. It was fate.
Just fate.
Yeah. Though we should mention that because the reason why Xavier is here is because Shalia Bull and then the Soden are actually on a mission to find the Red Gundam. So
yeah.
So they're trying to find the Red Gundam and Char. So that's where they're at Side 6. But after that, Machu jumps into the Gundam, and that's kind of where we take off. She does her first fight against some police guys, and
yep, against that one military Zaku.
Yep.
Actually, was it just one or two?
I think it was.
Yeah,
it was two.
Yeah, it was two because the first one gets disabled with the heat axe.
Yep.
And then she fights the second one outside.
Yep. No kills.
Yep, no kills.
Yep.
But over the course of the next few episodes, she does clan battle for the Pomeranians, kind of slightly getting better every time. Goes up against. Well, I think the first one is like nameless people.
Yeah, you have like the team with like the red and the blue like shoulder Zaku people.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to know the other teams until you actually hit Shiko's.
Yeah, Shiko, who was a Federation ace.
A Unicom or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I still don't understand what. Just say ace.
Unicorn.
It's weird.
She's a special unicorn.
And you guys know how I feel about Shiko by now. If you haven't watched that episode, long story short, she threw her life away and her family away just to fight the Red Gundam for revenge. Like,
even knowing that Char's not even piloting it, which is kind of like, really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's stupid.
It's like, it's just a mobile suit now. It's not even the same person who killed your actual, like, Mav or whatever, you know? It's like, come on.
I don't know, like, I made the comparison to Captain Talia from Seed Destiny, who throws away, like...
Her kid.
Yeah, her kid, pretty much. Like, she goes off to die with her ex and, like, the clone boy.
That's basically kind of like...
kind of like a surrogate son, I guess.
I guess.
Like, you have an actual son waiting for you at home. Like, what are you doing?
And a husband, too, so...
Yeah, I don't think we ever see him.
No, we don't. But she mentions him.
Yeah, it's like... Sorry, like, the parallels frustrate me.
Everybody's daddy issues in this. Shiko, I don't know. I don't know if she has daddy issues, but like, ugh. And Anyway, so yeah, we get brief like fights of where we have like her versus Shiko and her team, and Machu doesn't do anything in that battle. It's more Shuji versus Shiko. But we did not tell everybody about how they meet Shuji though. So
Oh yeah, Shuji. Yeah.
don't forget about Shuji. He kind of
Oh.
matters.
I can't forget about Shuji.
We're gonna talk about it more later.
Yeah. So they meet him under a bridge. Machu's looking at his graffiti painting.
It's Kira graffiti.
Yeah, it's Kira graffiti. He likes to paint that everywhere, especially outside the colony too.
Which I'm still questioning. Does like the Gundam have like this giant like I don't know spray paint bottle that's how it paints? Because I seriously doubt Shuji has like a spacesuit. We don't see him wear it, but that could be also like talked about in his character thing. So
Yeah. Nian was delivering a combat key to Shuji because I guess his broke. I don't know like when it broke because he was fighting Xavier.
yeah, or like how it broke, I guess. I don't know.
I wish that was explained a little bit more, but whatever. Then they do the clan battle for money to pay back Nian.
Yeah, because he drops his money in the river, so
Yeah, he's kind of a hobo.
he is a hobo.
Yeah. After that, they are consistent partners in the clan battle.
Yep.
Against Shiko, Machu's not really
Didn't do
useful
much, yeah.
at all. It's all Shuji. He's the one dodging everything, and honestly, even Shiko's partner is
just kind of there, and I
just
think
kind of there and kind of disappears.
doesn't Shiko actually hit her too to like
Yeah.
pretty much stay out of the way? So yeah, she doesn't do much. It's basically Shiko versus Shuji in that whole battle.
Yep. Eventually, Shuji gets the upper hand and kills Shiko, but they have like a new type heart-to-heart. Shuji tells Shiko what his dream is, and we don't hear it, but we get to understand what it is near the end of the series. I don't know if I should say that now or wait.
Whatever you want to do.
Well, basically, it's to make Lala happy, to create the world that she is hoping for, and we'll kind of get into that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going on along in clan battles. Machu does kind of have like a brief crisis, just because like she's probably never seen anybody die in front of her. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So she kind of has to get over that. And then on her side, she's also dealing with like school and stuff. You know, you can tell that
She doesn't know what she wants. Well, she knows what she wants to do in life. She wants to swim on Earth, in the ocean. But she doesn't have the validation from anyone
nobody
to go do that.
Nobody from school. Like her parents are both AWOL. And that's something we can talk about in the character thing too, because that's kind of what makes Machu's character as well. But
Yeah.
just essentially her parents are not there. We see like one time during this whole series where they're like her and her mom are eating dinner together. The rest of the time her mom's at work.
Yep.
And besides her coming to like the parent teacher conference thing like really late and just, you know, hounding her for not putting in, I guess, a good career survey or something. Yeah, it's just her parents are just not there. So unless something is like somebody tells somebody that Machu's not doing something right, so her career survey or going to prep school or something, like there's just not much caring of what's going on in her life.
Yeah, it's very much workaholic parents.
Yeah, I would say that. Like, we don't even get to see her dad.
Yeah.
We know that he's there.
We know that he exists.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know, it's just a figment of her imagination. I don't know.
That'd be really weird.
It would.
No, even on the news they announced that he's like a diplomat or something, but like not even he is like texting Machu or something, you know? So like there's basically no communication between her and the parents at all.
Yeah. And this kind of goes into the next clan battle. Well, the next two clan battles.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feeds into Machu's kind of mental state.
Mm-hmm.
So in the next clan battle, it's against
the Tri-Stars. Well, the Bi-Stars, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
Bi-Stars, I guess. It's just Gaia and Ortega. Mash is a mayor now.
Yeah, he got the good end of the stick. He's over there having like an affair with like his secretary or something, but yeah.
Yep. But Gaia and Ortega are going to try to get revenge, on quotes, on the Red Gundam for kind of stealing the spotlight. And
Which
it's like, it's not Char in there.
Yeah, it's like, we obviously know it's not Char in this Gundam, so like, what's it gonna do to get your revenge, you know?
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Anyways, Machu is not able to participate in this clan battle. It's actually Nian who goes out there because Machu kind of kicked the security guard in the groin.
Boom. Like Camille.
Yeah, well, not like, well, Camille punched a guy.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, she had her, like, Camille, like, kick punch moment.
She had her triggered Camille moment.
Yeah.
And Deanne starts off kind of rocky, but she eventually starts the Omega Saikamu.
And she gets, like, really high off the
Oh,
Kira
yeah, she gets really high off it. She's like, I feel so free!
Yeah, if, like, I could probably guarantee, like, the animators and directors here were like, we need to make it look like they're just so, like...
So stoned.
Yeah, they're on drugs. But, you know, fair enough. It kind of is, so...
It kind of is. It's like new type.
New type drugs.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs, kids.
It's like new type meth.
Yeah, there you go. But, yeah, so she and Shuji do that battle. And,
Shuji's sick, so he's not really helpful at all.
Yeah, he's really not. It's kind of funny that she, like, grabs onto his head and, like, you know, puts him in front of the Bi-Stars while they're doing the jet stream attack.
Yeah, the combat maneuvers that she's able to do is just crazy, and you have Kamui like, Mab shouldn't be doing that to each other.
Oh,
and
God.
Chalia's like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, Shalia is a massive fan of the Pomeranians, which is just hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's got like the sticker on his phone. It's cool.
Yeah, so he's just basically watching. I mean, they're gathering the battle data, too, of the Gquuuuuux and everything, because it's actually in battle with the clan battle, so... but yeah, Kamui is kind of a... she's a mood killer. We'll just call it that.
She is very much a mood killer.
That's her job. So yeah, eventually Machu gets out. She's in the locker with Xavier. Oh, well, I'm saying...
Sorry, yeah, the Machu gets out of the locker with Xavier after the match.
Yeah, and she meets up with Nian, who gives her back the Gquuuuuux, but...
Yeah, and she throws a huge fit.
Yeah, she's like, you violated my space, basically, you know, the Kira is for us, you know, and it doesn't really become much of an outburst, because she feels bad about it later, too.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say like they're like full on fighting, because basically after this fight they find out that the Pomeranians know where like Shuji is hiding and the Gundam and everything, so...
Yep, and Anki is gonna just sell them out.
Yeah. And Shalia met with her, so they're basically willing to give over the Gquuuuuux, and then of course the location of the Red Gundam to anybody who's gonna basically pay, so... yeah, so... Even, like, on Machu's end, like, she feels really bad about, you know, her outbursts and everything, but they never really get a chance to reconcile yet.
Yeah, they don't really get a chance to reconcile. You can see that Machu kind of regrets what she said, and Mian is kind of standoffish a little,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still going along with their plan for all three of them to go to Earth.
Yeah, so the plan just kind of ends up being like, hey, we got the space glider. We're all three of us going to meet up after this next clan battle, and then we're just going to go to Earth from there so that, Shuji doesn't get caught. And we can all get to Earth like we wanted to.
Yeah.
So, and Mian's on the run too, because I guess that they found out that she's basically a courier for all these people, so.
Now, before we continue on with that, at the same time, we have to introduce the Titans.
Yes. The pseudo-titans. We don't know if they're actually called titans.
Titans. Like, they're... I don't know if they're called the Titans, but just be honest.
They're the titans.
They're the Titans.
You got Boscom. He's the titan, so.
Yep, you got Gates Kappa, and then you have a new type, Do.
Who's the second from the Marasme lab, so.
Yep. Now, they are going to carry out an assassination attempt on Cassilia, and they're kind of using the clan battle as like a front to get there.
And they bring in their cargo as, what is it, like an air conditioner or something?
Yeah, like a giant air conditioner.
It's like, yeah, sure.
Yes, that is clearly an air conditioner.
So, yeah, so they use the clan battle under the, the Amala Kamala Company. That's their, like, cover.
It's such a stupid name.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I don't know if it's, like, a play on words or something, but it just sounds so stupid.
Yeah, now, we were kind of theorizing this during our second watch through. Maybe it was Girin who kind of gave them the intel about where Cassilia was going to be.
Yeah, it's something that Cassilia brings up in their meeting later on, and essentially she just asks, how did my location get leaked?
And then Girin doesn't really reply to that question. He's just like, you still believe in new types?
Yeah, he just sidesteps it. So, pretty sure that, they're not... he would probably sell off information for Cassilia. He wants her dead anyway, so,
Yeah. Now... This next clan battle gets kind of messy, because it's not really much of a clan battle.
No, not really. And I guess from what Gates says is that it was they were supposed to go outside, like it was supposed to be scheduled out there to kind of throw off the MPs so they could do their assassination attempt, but then like that went away, so like all like these like Zaku's are inside the colony. I guess kind of patrolling since Cassilia's there, but like yeah.
Yeah, somehow the location got moved inside the colony. I don't know how that happened.
No idea.
But the Pomeranians and the Titans kind of only clash for like...
Maybe like a minute or two.
Yeah, maybe like a minute. Because the rest of the time, the Pomeranians are on the run from the MPs.
Which is really funny because there's like a Psycho Gundam inside the colony actually like blowing up shit.
Yeah,
and it's just like...
gotta have your priorities, come on. And still have the Psycho Gundam destroying military police Zaku's and heading towards where Cassilia is.
Yeah, and then just to mention on this battle, Nian's actually in the Gquuuuux right now.
Yeah.
So the plan is that Machu was going to get the space glider prepared and everything ready for them and meet at a certain point. They would all meet there and then leave for Earth. But then, during the clan battles and stuff, things go awry. So you had the Titans attacking like we said. The Gquuuuux and the Red Gundam eventually kind of get away under a bridge. The Gquuuuux kind of like yeets Yan out of the cockpit, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like automatically yeets her out of the cockpit.
Probably didn't like that she treated it so harshly the last time she was in there.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you hurt Haru like that? Just like stepping on him, just stomping on him, come on. But then the Zeknova starts happening again.
Yeah, it's like a small Zeknova that happens where the Red Gundam is.
Yep.
Essentially just transports Shuji to somewhere else. We don't know if it's like the other side. We don't know if like it's just another location to get him away from. Maybe it's possibly Lala trying to get him away from people trying to capture him. We don't know yet. So
I don't know either. But we do know that it just leaves a giant space where the Gundam was.
Thankfully, didn't blow a hole through the colony because that would have been bad.
Yep, and Yan just kind of disappears for a little bit.
Yeah, she just kind of runs off.
Yep. During this time, Machu tries to steal the money from the Pomeranians because, like, she's gonna sell them out anyway.
Yeah.
So might as well take their money.
For their Tomino books.
Yep. She gets confronted by Anki, who kind of figured it out. And she pulls a gun on Anki.
She should have shot her.
I don't know how she missed, honestly.
Recoil, I don't know. I mean, she probably doesn't want to kill anybody, but at the same time, man, she should just shot her. Like, they're all willing to sell her out too. Not just Shuji. But, you know, what were they going to do with, like, Machu? They were going to give him back the Gquuuuuux. You don't think that they were just going to let her go back to her normal life in the first place?
Yeah. She's kind of a snake.
She is a snake, but it's, I know they mentioned it on, like, the Q&As and stuff. It's basically, like, these different types of, like, I guess, women that Machu could be if she, like, went down different paths in her life, so Anki, of course, is probably one of those, and, like, if she kind of, like, stayed a delinquent in Side 6, I could totally kind of see that happening, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she just kind of runs away after that. She should have shot Anki, we're just gonna say that. She kind of had it coming, just saying.
Yeah. But she's running back to the Gquuuuuux, and there's, like, no one out on the street. Everyone's probably given, like, shelter orders or something.
Probably.
Now, she's about to get... Well, she's kind of checking out the area by the Gquuuuuux, and then all of a sudden you have, like, a whole bunch of, like, police, like, right where she is. And, like, where did they come from?
That's a good question. I mean, and like we said...
There's, like, whole vehicles and everything. Like, where did they come from?
I wonder if maybe, like, there's a tracker or something that Anki planted in that stuff, just in case.
Maybe.
I mean, that might be a theory, but, like, I think we've said that, like, the Psycho Gundam at this time is still destroying stuff.
Yeah, the Psycho Gundam is still, like, blowing up buildings and everything.
You'd think that their priority is, like, you know, making sure civilians are, you know, evacuated from that area, but whatever, I guess.
No, it's petty thieves.
Yes. Oh, and they call her a terrorist. So, yeah, Machu is basically... She's identified, what, 98% or something?
Yeah.
And then she's labeled as a terrorist, but the Gquuuuuux basically saves her before she gets captured, and they start running away.
Yep, she runs away, although a bullet does make a hole in the bag of money.
I know she lost... I don't know if it was losing all of her money, but she lost probably a good amount of it.
Probably a good, like, maybe 2/3 or half.
And then who knows if Zeon, like, took the rest when, you know, she eventually gets caught.
Yeah, it's sad.
So on the other side of basically this, we're back at, like, the Titans part. So they get close to Cassilia. They're about to kill her. We got Xavier jump out with his Yan, which is cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's the first time we get to see Xavier be competent.
Yeah, I mean, the Gquuuuuux didn't want to turn on the Psycomu system for him, so...
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for him.
Well, that plus, like, the rest of the time he's either getting beat up or...
Well, yeah, he's way out of his element, so, like, he's going around trying to find the Gquuuuuux again, like, he's getting beat up by all these people. It's like, yeah, you don't know how to be subtle, do you?
Yep. Now, before the Psycho Gundam can attack, Shalia Bull shows up in his Kikuroga.
The stick bug.
Yeah, and he just wrecks the Psycho Gundam and Gates.
Yeah, and his Humrabi. We forgot about the Humrabi being there.
Yep. Like, it's not even a contest.
No, it's not.
Now, I don't really know how he's able to use a beam weapon against a ice field generating Psycho Gundam.
I mean, it could be just the right spot that he hit it in.
Maybe like he got so close that it didn't matter. I don't know.
That too, yeah. But yeah, he wallops on him. Just tells Xavier to take care of Cecilia, and then goes after Machu, who was like about to have like this berserk moment.
Yeah, which we never really had that pay off.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen one like more berserk moment, like an actual one, before we got the reveal of like the kind of final form of the Gquuuuuux itself. So
yeah, like they kind of tease this kind of rage form.
yeah.
Like the eyes start turning red, but no, Shali is able to neutralize her in time, and we never get a hint of that again. It's kind of disappointing.
A little bit, yeah. That's more in depth about character and stuff, but
Yeah.
so yeah, basically Shalia takes her into custody.
Yep. Xavier finds Nyan somehow. I don't know how he does.
I don't know either, but he basically offers her to join Zeon because he knows at some point that she piloted the Gquuuuuux. So, yeah. She goes to Zeon. Technically, Machu's also with Zeon, but she's a prisoner in Shalia's ship.
Yep. Then we go to kind of Nyan's point of view. Pretty much, Cecilia is grooming her.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely grooming her. She's being all like maternal and everything, and
We have that weird Cecilia flashback later on where it's like, okay.
like, okay. But then she is kind of offered the position to pilot the Gquuuuuux Unit 2, the G Fred.
Fred, yes.
Yeah, Fred.
And we all know that Quux and Fred are like placeholders essentially. So we don't really know what
Which we never got told what they were placeholders for.
Yeah, we don't know if like Endymion, like eventually what we get at the end is the actual holder for like the Gquuuuuux. I don't know. But like G-Fred, we don't get any like, I guess, idea of what it could be. So
I don't think it was.
who knows?
I don't know. But have Xavier's friend was like Miguel.
Yeah.
He's kind of feigning to be nice and everything, and
Trying to make her cake, but the cake is a lie.
the cake is a lie. It's poisoned. He killed all the other candidates for the G-Fred.
I know, it's so screwed up.
And in his attempt to kill Nyan, she's able to use the funnels off of the G-Fred and just like murk him like that.
Yeah, he gets vaporated like really fast.
It's like a snap of a finger. Like he's there and then he's gone.
Yeah, we tried actually taking pictures of that to like kind of like show it better, but like yeah, by the time we tried taking the picture, it was like he's already gone.
Yep. Nyan's kind of bummed out from this experience, understandably.
Well, yeah, because like I want to be friends with you. I'm gonna make you cake, and then like the cake's gonna kill you.
Yeah. But then we kind of just jump over to Machu's perspective.
Yeah, she gets to go to Earth.
Yep, she is able to escape the Sodon after being, like interrogated by Chalia, who was just like reading her mind the entire time.
Yep. He's like, oh wait, he knows I'm about to say that?
This guy's like Shuji. But she still continues to
like still think about
still
things.
think about it.
He's like answering her perfectly.
Yeah. And Conley's just probably standing there like, what's going on?
She probably does not know that Shally is probably doing that to her all the time. That's my theory, is that like Shally just picked her up as like a personal assistant just to like, mess with her. He's basically a big troll because he knows how much that just like really irks her, so.
Yeah. But she kind of lets it slip that she was going to Earth, and then Shally was like, oh, so the rose is on Earth, huh?
Like, you get that, like, the eyes right there. You're just
yeah,
like,
just
whoa.
like those crazy eyes. But yeah, after that interrogation, Machu gets more texts from this mystery person.
Yes.
Kind of giving her directions around the Sodon so that she can escape with the Gquuuuuux.
Shalia lets her do it. Everybody's like, no, close off the hatches. But Shalia's like, no, let her do what she's going to do.
Just do it. And she gets through the atmosphere. She...
Probably breaks some bones.
Yeah, probably breaks some bones.
She hits some G's, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. But the core fighter comes out, and she crashes near where Lala is in India.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a mountainous region, because when she wakes up and basically they tell her, hey, you know, the mistress saved you, essentially. She looks out the window and she's disappointed that she doesn't see the ocean.
Yes, now she ended up at a brothel.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. They don't say it explicitly, but it's kind of obvious. And she meets Lala. And we kind of get an idea of what's going on here.
Yeah.
In this episode. Pretty much the Gquuuuuux version of Lala is kind of having dreams about what her self on the other side is experiencing.
Yeah, so, and essentially we'll see that dream at the, in the finale episode, but just basically of Char coming to save her. He takes her up into space. Things like in the regular series happen until we actually reach that battle between all the new types. So Amuro, Sayla, Char, and Lala, like in the original series. But there's a slight deviation from what we're used to.
Yeah, she claims that Char dies in that battle.
And then basically, yeah, like her other self or the other Lala just can't bear it.
Yeah. And it keeps happening over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Machu asks if, like, the pilot in the white Gundam is, like, the enemy. Lala says, no, he's pure too.
She still loves him too.
Yeah. Your favorite part.
Oh my god.
But that's kind of the end of that conversation. And after that, they go back to the mansion. The maids urge Machu to take Lala with her.
And then essentially they just start a fire.
Oh yeah, they just start a fire, which...
One of my favorite characters is the maid, who's just like so base, man. She's just like...
Just that like deadpan expression.
Like the other maid's like, I thought we were just supposed to start in the storage room. And she's like, nah, we're burning it all down.
Honestly, I'm surprised that she didn't like start the fire in like the owner's room or something.
That would have been hilarious.
And like, I don't know, like tie him to like the floor or whatever.
But yeah, so they make that distraction. They tell Machi to get Lala out. They're going towards the core fighter, but Lala is just like, no, I can't leave.
She refuses to leave. She wants to wait for Char. And
basically that's it. I mean,
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Core fighter takes off.
The core fighter takes off by itself without any input from Machu, leaving Lala behind. Eventually, they go back to the ocean.
Where the Gquuuuuux kind of like crash landed.
Kind of crash landed, and the core fighter. I almost said G fighter. The core fighter dives down into the ocean because apparently you can do that now.
Yes.
And it finds the Gquuuuuux along with the Rose.
And the Rose is huge. Like we were like thinking, like, wait, was it that big in the original?
How big is the Elmeth?
Like compared to especially like the mobile suits, you know, how big is it?
Yeah, like in games and stuff, it doesn't look to be as big as they're depicting it in the ocean at that point. But like, geez, that thing is huge. I don't know, unless the Elmeth is just so distorted that it kind of grew, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe. We don't know. But yeah, so I guess Shalia has been kind of tracking Machi the whole time, and the Soding just kind of appears above it. So they take up the rose out of the ocean and I guess deliver it to Cassilia.
Yep, and Machi's back in the brig.
And she kind of just stays there, but we know from just kind of a little bit later in the episodes that I guess Shalia was taking her out and kind of training her too, so.
Yes.
He's being Daddy Shalia.
Now, finally, well, actually, I almost forgot to bring up. Zeon is building this weapon called Yomantho.
Yo mama.
Yeah. That's what we call it.
Yeah, because either I'm not pronouncing it right and all my notes that I wrote in the phone for the episodes now has Yo mama in it, so you know.
Plus, it's funnier.
It's funnier, yeah.
But yeah, they're building this like environmentally safe and recovering not weapon.
Like solar ray thing.
Solar ray thing. It's like, yeah, that's not what Zeon does.
But yeah, it's supposed to like, I guess, save the environment on Earth. Like, it's supposed to be Zeon's way of like making up for like the colony drop and some stuff, and it's like, you know, it's not right.
No, that's not right. But we do get to see a very mysterious figure. A figure with blonde hair over his eyes.
Yes, and
named
he's
Shirozu.
a brilliant scientist.
He's a brilliant scientist.
So yeah, so we know that he's working on it. He's a mysterious figure in the wings, as the Yomantho or your mama is made, and kind of we had that kind of time skip because we don't even know how long it takes for the Yomantho to kind of get finished being manufactured.
Yeah, honestly, that thing got finished pretty quickly.
But still, yeah, we don't know what kind of like time skip in between them finding the rose and then Yomantho's completion is. So.
Yep. But next we see that it's completed, and Cassilia pretty much just orders a whole military operation to get rid of Girin's units that are there at the ceremony, so that she can take over the weapon.
Yeah, she just wants full control over it.
Yep. And during that time, she also kills Girin again.
Yes. A little bit more subtly this time.
A little bit more subtly, with poison gas.
So, yeah, and she's wearing, like, the plastic mask under her mask, which is kind of cool, actually. It's
Yeah. It is funny because, like, when the gas starts affecting them, it legit looks like she's force choking them.
Yeah. So there's all the memes of everybody's, like, thinking about, like, Darth Vader choking that dude at the table. Looks like what happens to Cecilia at first, and then, like, everybody just eventually kind of just succumbs to the poison gas.
Yeah, now, during this whole time, I'm more wondering, like, what is Xavier's thought process here? Because he is, like, going from, we're all Zeon, why are we fighting each other, to, oh yeah, I'll totally do this operation.
Yeah, because they go after all of Girin's forces. There's not, like, even, like, a, hey, surrender or something, you know.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's a secretive attack and surprise attack.
Flipped the script kind of quick there.
Yeah. So all the Gquuuuuux, which probably is a good idea of her having Gquuuuuux at this point, because they carry a lot of, you know, they do have the beam weaponry on this one, but they also have other weaponry that can actually... Yeah, they have
a lot of physical weapons. They have, like, the lances.
So they can actually get through, like, the big Zam's eye field and stuff.
Yeah, but Nian has a separate and kind of secret mission. So she is supposed to go into Yomantho and target a Baoku with it.
Yeah, so she's given like 2 coordinates, and the first one ends up being a Baoku. Just to basically take care of the rest of Girin's main fleet. Yep.
And before she does that, she kills off the 2 scientists that were working on Yomantho.
But somebody gets away.
Yeah, but someone gets away. A mysterious figure.
With blonde hair.
With blonde hair over his eyes. Who knows who he could be?
I don't know, but he slowly backs out of that as he sees the Fred, and he's like, nope, I'm getting out of here. So, yeah, so we have, like, this really, really cool scene of, like, Yomantho basically transporting a Bawaku, like, really close to where they are. And it just, like, starts blowing all this stuff.
Crushing
yeah.
it and tearing everything apart until, like, it just disappears it.
Yeah, it's like it goes into another black hole. So we're assuming it goes to the other side, which...
It's either to the other side or some, like, I don't know, weird location.
Yeah. So, yep. Obviously, there's a lot of death in that. Machu feels it.
Oh yeah, Machu feels it, Nian feels it. Machu is able to get past Xavier with Chalia's help, and she goes off to fight the G-Fred.
Yeah, so, and kind of basically really early on in their fight, they figure out who each other is.
Yeah. It's actually a very short fight.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't think they want to fight each other in the first place, but, you know.
Yeah. But Machu's able to kick Nian away, and she takes off this, like, housing unit for the Elmeth.
Well, yeah, because she, like, breaks off the limiter with Shalia's gun, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, she just shoots the limiter. And, like, she has, like, these weird, like, black hole-looking things appear on the mobile suit.
Yeah, we were like, are they, like, black holes? Are they, like, mini Zek Nova kind of things to, like, distort the space? We don't exactly know.
I don't know either.
Maybe, like, when...
Not really explained.
Maybe when the Gunpla actually comes out, maybe they'll, like, tell us what...
Tell us in the manual.
Yeah, what that weapon actually is. We don't know.
Yeah, but she takes off the housing, knocks her and Nian back, and the next time we see them, Shuji's kind of looming over Machu.
As a ghost.
As like a force ghost looking thing. And he points down like this corridor and she goes down it, and Nian follows.
In her mobile suit.
In her mobile suit.
Machu gets out of the mobile suit, but like Nian takes her whole mobile suit, which is funny.
Yeah. And of course, Xavier and Chalia are fighting outside. Xavier's the only one out of his squad that lives.
Yeah, the rest of them kind of suck.
Yeah, they all kind of suck. Which, I should have said this before, but I kind of wish we got something with like the Purus and Glemmies, because we got some confirmation that was kind of happening.
No, that will be... I'm going to bring that up later for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely going under the cons.
Yeah. But we end up in a theater, much like Zeta Gundam, if you guys have watched Zeta Gundam.
Yeah, the ending to Zeta Gundam.
So, you have Cassilia there, and then you have Shirozu, who... Oh my god, who could he be?
Oh my gosh, he's Char!
Yeah, he even pulls his hair back with the random gel, I guess, he had on his hand, which is kind of funny.
Who's that Gundam character?
It's not Johnny Raiden. But, yeah, she basically asks him, hey, do you want to come back and work with me? You know, we can make sure...
rule the galaxy.
We can rule this galaxy. We'll get rid of all the people on Earth to make sure new types can thrive. And this is still hopeful Char. He hasn't, like, lost his, like, you know...
He hasn't lost his mind.
Yeah. So, Char's like, nah, we're not going to do that.
New types are insightful and...
I think compassionate is the other.
Compassionate. He obviously refuses. He says that there is something bigger at work here.
Yeah.
And before Cassilia can get a shot off at Char, Machu just comes crashing down from the ceiling.
Yeah, I want to know how she got up there.
From the rafters.
Yeah. But yeah, she like dives down. Thankfully, not the gravity wasn't all on, because that would probably really hurt. Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Nian comes bursting from like through the wall like Kool-Aid Man.
Cassilia!
She's like, Shuji, where are you?
Yeah.
But that gives Char enough time to grab Machu and escape through like this hole in the ground.
They like just fall. Char has to turn his back, and he protects Machu from hitting that wall, and it's like, ow.
This is like a several story fall, by the way.
Yeah.
This is like a skyscraper fall.
I was just like, ouch, man, his back.
And then there's another Zeknova that happens at like the bottom of this pit.
Yeah.
The red Gundam appears, kind of like how it's positioned at the end of Mobile Suit Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
And then Char kind of magically gets his 1-year war clothes back.
Magical girl Char.
Yep. And as he's getting in the Gundam, he reveals that he knows who Shuji is.
Yeah, apparently he had mentioned before. They don't really say the circumstances of the meeting, but we know that basically they met each other. And he's like, hey, you want to go along with my plan? You want to pilot the Red Gundam for a while?
Yeah, they don't really elaborate. But then he says, like, okay, I'm going to disappear Lala. It's like, dude, you could have just said you're going to send her back.
Yeah, and instead of like this big like misunderstanding where Machu's like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna hurt her? Are you gonna kill her? No, he just wants to send her back to the other side.
Yeah, Machu goes straight back to the Gquuuuuux the way that she came. I say the way that she came because she goes through the theater again.
Yeah, kind of. She's just at the stairs this time, not in the rafters.
Yeah, and Cassilia is about to shoot her, but Nian shoots Cassilia instead, and she is kind of understandably pissed off about that.
Yeah, she's gonna shoot her, but the G-Fred protects her, and Nian gets away.
Yep. Now, Char is kind of looming over the Elmeth, and he's about to do his thing, but Machu comes in, but Shuji kind of breaks it up, and that's kind of when we get like the Kira between all of them.
Yeah, and it kind of just explains what, like, we talked about Shuji's wish about wanting to protect Lala and make her world like she wants a reality.
Where Char stays alive.
Yeah. And and Char knows all this. He knows that Lala is wanting to protect him, but at the same time, it's like, she's still distorting the world.
Yeah, she is distorting the world, like it's crumbling down with each Zeknova.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not sustainable.
So that's his plan, is to send her back, which, no ill intentions or anything. He wants the best for Lala too. In the
Yeah, like he doesn't want to hurt her, but he has to send her back. Now Shuji's like, well, you know what? I don't really care about what she wants for you anymore. Pretty much. And he's like, I'm gonna destroy this world because you don't appreciate it. It's like,
he appreciates it, but like, you can't like coddle him, man. It's like, and like we said, like, the universe is being destroyed around them.
Yeah. Plus, what, like, why am I forgetting what Char said? It was like one-sided love can be like a prison or something.
Which is kind of what's happening here. Like, he doesn't know Lala.
Yeah, like, he's never met her before. So Shuji summons the Gundam
from beyond the time.
From beyond the time, because the Beyond the Time starts playing. And he's gonna try and kill Lala.
Yeah, so basically from the final episode, we know his plan is like, when Lala's universe doesn't work out, like, he like goes and kills her, essentially.
Yep.
And it kind of restarts the cycle again.
Restarts the cycle, she'll try something new. And then we get like a whole bunch of different versions of what happened after we see the inciting event. Which is that battle you were talking about before with Amuro, Sayla versus Char and Lala.
Yeah, if you guys kind of want like an in-depth of each battle, I know Kakarot just did a video, which is really cool, going through all the...
Oh yeah, it's really cool. He did a very good explanation for how each scenario probably would have been, and
like how you would actually get Char in those mobile suits.
Yeah. So
it's a really good video. I'd really suggest you guys watch that if you want to go in depth into each scenario. I like how everybody though can agree that, he got put in this Judah and basically he turned off all the limiters and just blew up.
Yeah. I might put him in the description because it is a very good video.
Oh yeah, and then we'll have to do a shout out to the other video too. The guy who's doing the go through of the different variations of Gundam. God, I can't remember his name because I just found him. But like, he just made like an in-depth video of like the first few episodes of Gundam into like that first movie with the manga and everything. I'm going to find him. We'll probably put him in the description too. But like, if you guys need to see the different versions of like Mobile Suit Gundam and like how it plays into kind of this, it's really interesting for sure. God, I'm gonna feel really bad not knowing the guy's name, but I'll look that up. But you know, if you want to keep going, basically we're on the final episode.
Yeah, this is the final episode. Machu attacks Shuji, and Yan kind of sees this. She tries to break them up, but Machu's like, hey, I still want to go to the Earth with all of you guys. But in order to do that, we need to stop Shuji from, like, destroying this timeline.
Yeah, we can't exactly go to the Earth without, you know, stopping Shuji and what he wants to do here.
Yep, and during this whole thing, Char ends up killing Cassilia again with even a bigger bazooka.
It's pretty glorious, actually. It even does the salute in his mobile suit.
Yep. He starts talking to Chalia. Chalia's like, oh, so you were after, like, the Elmeth girl, huh? Kind of have this short conversation. And then Chalia just attacks Char out of nowhere. There's still, like, nothing leading up to that, even after watching this whole series again.
Yeah, well, and we'll talk about it in the character section, but, like, they could have done something to make it, like, way more seamless into, like, why Chalia thought Char was a threat. I know, like, there's, like, all these memes, like, the Kira was showing Chalia Char's counterattack or something. I don't know, but, like, it just seems like it's out of nowhere, and they could have easily built it into that, you know, to give us some more context into that.
Especially the part where Chalia is like, we all prepared to support Sayla or Artesia in running Xeon and all that. It's like, when did that happen?
Yeah. So we got that fight going on. We've got the Gundams versus the OG Grandpa Gundam that's kind of turned into like this kind of big, like, all white, like, you know, kind of like, I guess that's technically the White Devil right there. I don't know how to explain it.
Yep. And then somehow Shuji just, like, makes the Gundam grow, like, hundreds of times. It's like, okay, hold on a sec. This is starting to get a little ridiculous. But Shuji is able to crush the G-Fred. Luckily, Nan is able to escape. And Machu is able to awaken the Endymion unit, which we find out that's what it's called.
So basically, it's like an outside part from like a different universe that was used inside of the Gquuuuuux.
Yes. And with that, she's able to defeat Shuji.
Yep, she basically... And I think the speech is to both Shuji and Lala that you need to just keep moving on, or else, you know, things can't evolve, things can't change. And that's what new types are. They need to evolve and change as they go. But by Lala basically destroying these universes consecutively, like, life can't go on. Like, life can't evolve. So, that's basically her argument. You know, that stops Shuji, and he's like, yeah, I haven't met anybody like you. Well, I mean, it's kind of obvious because you keep on destroying universes, so it doesn't help.
Yep, and then we get some lines from Amuro, actually. So I guess he is the Gquuuuuux.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people had speculated that the extra part might be like the piece of Psycho frame from Char's counterattack that might have like Amuro's soul in there or something. But essentially he just says like he doesn't want to see the Gundam keep on killing Lala.
Yeah, so that line alone makes it kind of messy, but I'll get to that.
Yeah,
Um, but Machu defeats Shuji. Shuji kind of, well, Lala wakes up first,
yeah.
and she's like, "Thanks for helping me out, bro. I'm out."
I'm out.
She takes Shuji and the Yomantho with her.
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah, most of it. The rock is still there, like
Yeah, like some
like the
little piece of it are,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like the rock bits are still there, which I'm kind of wondering. Maybe they used Luna 2 for building that off of. Who knows?
Maybe. It's a possibility.
Um,
But yeah, essentially we kind of end there. We kind of see everybody's like ending of what they get. So Xavier tells Shalia that he has to, pay for, I guess, killing the zombies. I guess his role in that, and actually lead Xeon into, a new type friendly, I don't know, era or something. It's like he has the responsibility to help lead Xeon essentially.
yes.
So yeah, he takes him. He has a really, really small like escape pod.
Yeah.
Not like the Sotheby Char basketball-sized escape pod.
Yeah, the battle between him and Char kind of ends in a draw.
Char's just like, I'm out of here.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave so that you don't want to kill me again for no reason.
Yeah. We find out that Char actually did go to Earth and he found Lala, so... I'm just gonna say, hopefully she's satisfied, because if she's satisfied with just Char, then I'm gonna be happy for that. But
well, we don't even know like if Amuro exists in
yeah,
this
we don't.
timeline.
I'm assuming he still does, but like, I just really hope that she's satisfied that Char came to get her, and that she doesn't feel the same way as that other Lala who was like, but I love him too. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Machu finally texts her mom.
Apparently her dad's there too, which is like, well, we still don't see him, so.
Yep. Pomeranians are still doing their thing.
Anki should have been dead.
They still, are scavenging junk and all that.
And they're gonna go, I guess like they had like a flight kind of barrier around Yomantho for a while. So apparently they're gonna go scavenge and see what they can find there. They also have a Rikzak. They actually do call it a Rikzak because it's meant for space.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That was specified in one of the questions that was asked of the cast, so...
Yeah, I just thought it was a Zoc.
That's a Rikzak because they can use it in space.
Alright. And then we go to Machu and Yan on the beach.
Just kind of chilling.
Just chilling. And that's kind of it.
Yeah. They just say that, we'll probably see Shuji one day, they're gonna go there eventually one day, and it's kind of where it ends. And that's the end of G-Quest.
Now, let's start off with the pros.
Okay.
So, I really like the 1 Year War segments.
Yep.
Of course, it's very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
All the action sequences are done very well during those sequences. It builds enough intrigue for the actual show. The characters are handled okay for how long the show actually is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to word certain things.
I think I'm probably on the same page as you, so seeing the first war was really cool. And seeing, of course, the what if scenario of it, of being like a different multiverse of it. So that was all cool for me.
Yeah.
There's just so much to explore. Like, I want more of this. Like, I want to know what is going on in this world, because obviously we haven't seen much of the Earth Federation. We don't know what they're really doing. We don't know like the current state of Earth itself really, because Machu was only there for an episode, and then of course at the end of it. So there's just so much more to expand on, explain. Like you can get so much more out of this.
I guess that's kind of a pro and a con, where like you want to see more of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's also a pro that like you are invested in what's going on. Like there are actual consequences.
Mm-hmm.
People actually, what's the word I'm looking for?
Get what's coming to them?
Yeah.
They get their comeuppance.
And there is some growth to be had here.
Yep.
I feel like my problem in kind of making the pros is that final episode, which we'll get to in the cons.
Yeah, I would say probably the final episode is the weakest out of the whole series. I'd say probably in terms of pros, like we were talking about character development. I actually do like how they took Machu's character. She feels like a real teenager for sure in this, as in, you see it. And
she's very messy.
Yeah, she is. And, I've seen a lot of people on the internet talk about how, like, it's kind of a reflection on that whole, like, more of an Asian perspective, like parenting, because her parents are never around.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I see it a lot in our culture, too. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, especially where we kind of grew up.
Yeah, so there's, especially nowadays, a lot, like, parents will just put their kids immediately on, like, tablets or some stuff. They don't really
spend time with them. Like,
yeah.
I'll see this at my job a lot, where they just kind of let them go play, and they're just sitting, like, at the sidelines looking at their phone or whatever. They're not really paying attention to their kid.
Yeah, so it's very much a real-life situation, and her mom is very much a workaholic. She's an AWOL parent. She's not around.
No, she's not.
She doesn't really know about Machu's interests, I can say. Or even... I mean, even this is probably the school's fault, too, as well. But, like, nobody's, like, trying to point her interests in, like, a positive,
positive or productive manner.
So... we talked about it, like, obviously Zeon's is on Earth right now, too, so there has to be some kind of, like, thing where, people can travel back and forth a little bit at least, so...
Yeah.
It's like, you would think that, like, okay, well, you want to go to the beach, maybe we can try to find something career-orientated for that. I'm sure that, people are in space now, but, I mean, even, like, in our world now, we don't know a lot about oceans, so like they can be studying oceans, like an oceanographer or something, or a biologist,
Yep.
So it's not like you can't put Machu's interests into something productive. But she, like we've talked about, like her dad is AWOL. We don't even see him. We just barely get like a comment on the side that he's a diplomat. So, even we don't even get, like, a text message from him, like, saying, hey, I saw that you're not going to prep school or something, talk to me or your mom about it. And then, of course, we don't see her mom being proactive until she finds out about the career survey or, like, the prep school, how she's missing it, so...
Yeah.
She's very much a product. She's like the teenager of her time, and, like, you see, like, why she would make those mistakes, and... I'm okay with that. Like, she's obviously more, like, written like a real person. She's gonna make mistakes, but she's also not, like, a bad person either.
Yeah, like, she's not intentionally going out to, like, hurt anyone.
No, and, you see that she regrets about, like, Shiko. She doesn't want to see people die, and obviously during the clan battles, it seems like it probably people, it's always, like, a risk that you could die, but at the same time, it's, like, it's not the main goal.
Yeah, it's not the main goal. It's, like, more the goal to disable the mobile suit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's not a bad person. She's just a teenager learning like life through the hard facts, and
Yeah,
you know.
and she feels very displaced.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why she wants to go to Earth, because you know it's a lot more natural. So she has this idea that something like a more natural environment will be more like home to her. Now, part of the episode where she goes down to Earth and meets Lala is very good for her character, because it kind of has the grass is not always greener kind of feel.
Yeah, she notices like the gravity and stuff are the same. Like,
it's like the gravity feels the same, the environment is pretty much the same. It's just that you don't have a upside down city looking back at you when you look up.
yeah, she does say though she likes like the sun and the fresh air though. So
Yeah.
So I really liked, I guess, the way that they handled Machu, and then like we talked about how she fought with Nian kind of briefly. She feels bad about it. Like she's not, you know.
Yeah, like she's not really fighting her all that fiercely, I guess.
Yeah.
She's more trying to get past her.
Yeah. But she's not one to hold like a grudge or something. She's not necessarily like a selfish person. I know that people will say she made selfish mistakes, but that's what teenagers do. But yeah, I would say for the most part I really liked how they handled her growth, especially under the circumstances that she is in on Side 6.
Yeah. Now, we kind of go to Nian. I feel like she's the next logical character to talk about.
We just needed more of her.
Yeah, we needed more of her. She's more like a passenger during this whole show. And this would definitely be a con.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she could definitely like enhance the show a little bit more with her making more decisions.
And we got the one-off comment about how she escaped Side 2 with piling the mobile suit and stuff, so just kind of getting a little bit more of her backstory I think would have helped too. I would like to see her more in like the Xeon setting too, like interacting with not just Xavier but just the other people around her eventually.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not really much to say about Nian.
Yeah, I mean, after she hits the Kira, she's less quiet, but
Yeah, she's less quiet.
She's also not a selfish person either, because, you know, she doesn't want Shuji and Machu to fight either, but...
Yeah, she also has a very, you know, like, being displaced kind of feel.
Which she would be, like, the opposite of Machu, where, you know, she doesn't have a home, versus Machu who had the home, so...
Yeah, it's... I keep thinking about it, she's kind of a passenger.
She kind of is more of the passenger on this. We get like just the brief look into her life too, about how she wants to become like a resident, and actually get, you know, over papers and go to school.
She wants a place to call home.
Yeah. And you know, I guess she eventually does find that with probably Machu on Earth. I mean, if we're gonna believe like the end credits, I think that's just their house on Earth.
I think that's just their beach house.
We were like, how did they get all that like furniture and stuff? We're like, no, Nian had to like stop back at like Xeon, like Granada, and been like, I need to get my stuff. I need to get my money. Then they just went down to Earth and they disappeared. I mean, think about it, Xeon was in chaos at the time, so might as well
just take out all your money.
Yeah.
But she probably got quite a bit.
I mean, she was like Cassilia's golden child for a little bit.
Yeah.
So she shot her.
Do you have anything else to say about Nian?
No, I wish, like I said, it's one of those things I wish we got more of.
Yeah.
Shuji?
Yeah, Shuji. Now, Shuji is a very interesting character. He acts like a high hobo all the time, but...
Really, he's very nefarious.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking about this. So, the one thing, like, people are, like, making all these theories, like, he's the son of blah, blah, blah. He is, you know, Shiraka or some bullshit. You know, it's like, we got all these theories about Shuji. The thing is, Shuji can be Shuji. He can just be Shuji.
Now, Shuji doesn't need to be anyone.
What I wanted from this though is I wanted to know how exactly he got caught up in like the whole loop cycle with Lala. Was he just a random new type who was close enough to when Lala, unleashed that first kind of like Zek Nova thing? Is that what happened? But then you would have like maybe Amuro and Sayla also be caught up in that, so that doesn't make any sense. Or I guess my other theory would be is basically Shuji just kind of like that manifestation from Lala's, wanting to make sure that Char gets his perfect universe, I guess, where he doesn't die. And Shuji was kind of made as like a failsafe key when that thing happened, and that's why he is able to destroy those universes every time it does happen. And I think that makes a little bit more sense in my opinion because of like, he'll go from having a body to just kind of being like a ghost to summoning the RX-78 too. And then that would give it a little bit more of a mystical quality of like why he can make like the Gundam grow and stuff. So to me that makes more sense that he's more of like a manifestation of just, someone Lala made to kind of like safeguard each of her universes, and then if need be, he destroys them.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know if you could see him as just like an ordinary character, because if Shuji is just an ordinary person, wouldn't there be a version of him in the Gquuuuuux universe that we could just find?
Yeah. Shuji's really difficult to evaluate. Mostly just because, like,
he's gone for a lot.
He's gone for a lot of it. Or, like, he doesn't really show much, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Besides being a high hobo.
Yeah, besides being a high hobo for like 80% of the time you see him. Yeah, this is definitely kind of a con to the series, where we don't really know much about Shuji, like who he is or what he is.
Yeah, I wish that final episode would have just kind of opened up with like how he got stuck in Lala's loop, just to kind of give us like a little bit of a background on things. But like I said, Shuji can be Shuji. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't need him to be like the son of Amuro and Chan, or the son of Lala and Char or something. There's just so many crazy theories thrown out there. But I do think like if he is a manifestation from like Lala, I think that's why they possibly put in the thing about him smelling like Char, because maybe like that's just her good memories of Char kind of put together. But also she has the memories of Amuro too, which is why it could be the RX-72. Actually the one who needs to destroy everybody. So maybe it's kind of like a combination of her feelings for both of them kind of put together.
Yeah, it could be.
Just my crackpot theory here.
Honestly, with Shuji, all you really have is theories.
Which is, yeah, kind of true. But yeah, that would be my only criticism of it, is like, I want to know how he actually got stuck in the loop. It would have given us like more details of like how this actually happened, because how does he know Lala?
I have no clue. And that's the big issue here, because like as of right now, Gquuuuuux does not have a second season.
Yep.
So this is kind of all we got. So
I mean, we could get a novel later on, who knows, but like,
who knows? We could get a manga or something. But with Shuji, there are just so many unanswered questions. Like, is he talking to the Red Gundam in the beginning, or is he talking to like
Lala or something?
Like the other Gundam that can grow and all that.
Oh, I've kind of like thought maybe he's talking to Lala through the Psych Commu system or something. Who knows? But it's just one of those things that kind of just get left unanswered.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anything else you want to say about Shuji?
Not really. There's not really much to say.
Yeah,
Like,
it's.
with Shuji, it's all theory.
Mhm.
And that's also, it kind of brings this down a little bit since we don't have a second season.
Yeah. I want a second season if you guys want to do it. I want more episodes.
Um,
You
now we'll
want
just move on, I guess.
you want to go into Shally or
Yeah,
somebody?
Shalia Bull, the GOAT.
Yes, he is the GOAT this whole series.
Probably one of our favorite characters, if not the
Yes.
favorite character of this
Mhm.
show. He's so fun,
Mhm.
and he like becomes kind of like a mentor later to Machu.
Which I would have liked more of.
Yeah,
Like, seeing their relationship.
I wish we got at least a whole episode for that.
Yeah, I mean, because let's admit it, like Shally is like the parent Machi never had.
Yeah,
But yeah, I really do like their dynamic, and I wish that we had gotten more between Shally and Machu because obviously he was her mentor and not just basically telling her to do what she needs to do, but at the same time, training her into something, so she can actually do it. So yeah, he's the parent she never had.
yeah. In fact, Chalia kind of gives me some Mula Flaga vibes because he's kind of like the chill one on the ship.
Oh yeah.
He kind of has like his sleeves rolled up.
Yeah.
And,
He wears his tennis shoes or whatever.
yeah.
I think he has red socks too, which is really funny.
He's like, see, I have these red socks. Socks. I have these red socks like my homie Char. I don't know where he is, but
And I swear, like, he probably picked up calmly because, like, he has the mind reading thing and he could just tell, like, how irked he could make her. And it's hilarious.
oh, yeah. Plus, she is super by the books.
Yeah, she is. And Shally is definitely not.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But I really like Shalia. I really liked his backstory that we got. And kind of, like, how he came to be. The only one thing I will point out is because he had that whole, like, 180 on Char. And it's just like, where did this come from? He does talk about how he has, like, they were attracted to the emptiness inside each other. And it's like, so are you capable, Shalia? Are you the one who's gonna, like, start Shalia's counterattack? Are you gonna, like, throw the rest of Yomantho on Earth or something? Like,
Yeah, that whole confrontation with Char and Chalia makes no sense at all.
yeah, like, we had talked about, we were watching the episode again, we're like, well, I guess Sayla could have told him about his plan to destroy Granada instead of, save it. And maybe that kind of irked him that he was gonna, kill civilians and stuff along with Cassilia. But
If that was the case, then they should have explicitly said that
yeah,
in
like,
the show. Like, hey, you were willing to sacrifice all these civilians just to kill Cassilia.
and that would have made more sense with his line instead of, talking about the emptiness inside of themselves or something. I don't know, but like,
At which he also had.
Yeah.
So it just makes no sense.
and we also don't know how far he's willing to go to kill them either, because obviously he was going to fire on a ship of basically, innocent Xeon soldiers who could have been his allies too. He killed all of, Cassilia's new type forces, yeah, besides Xavier. So, like, does he really have room to talk, about, like, who gets to get sacrificed in order for, like, both Cassilia and Garen to die,
Yeah, just that last episode really kind of does him dirty a little bit.
It does, yeah. And even just like a throw-in line during their fight, like, Lady Artesia told me you were willing to sacrifice everyone on Granada to kill Cassilia or something. That would have, like, at least helped, I guess his motivations in that time, but, like, we don't get that at all.
Yeah, but instead it comes off as super random, and even Char is like, dude, what are you talking about?
Like, you can't see the future. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but overall, Chalia's character is really good.
Yeah, I like Shally is probably my favorite character in this whole series.
Yep, now, I don't know, what character would be next? I mean, like, Cassilia and Gurren are pretty much the same.
Yeah, nothing much on them. I mean, Kamali, I still don't know her actual job on the actual Soden, so, besides exposition giver, maybe Bridge Bunny, but, I do think that Shalia picked her up because he liked to irk her, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, we kind of already went over Machu's mom. Very absent.
Yeah, we were trying to see too if, like, on her cell phone she had the picture of them together as her screen, but they don't really show it, so
Yeah.
it would have helped to know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the junk field, maybe. I mean,
We also have Xavier too.
yeah, Xavier too. Let's talk about Xavier, because I kind of brought it up earlier, how he kind of went from being, why are we fighting each other? We're all Xeon, to not questioning.
Cassilia's orders.
Yeah, Cassilia's orders. It's like
You just saw a Bawaku getting blown up in your face. Like, really, man?
and you just destroyed a whole bunch of big Zans
Mm-hmm.
that had Xeon soldiers in them. So, what's going on here?
Yeah. It's kind of like, if we're told it is true that, like, Gurren is, I guess, experimenting with, like, the clone new types, it's like, well, if Cassilia dies, then it's not, new types are not necessarily gonna die. I mean, and the same thing with, like, you know, Shalia asks him, are you willing to sacrifice people on the Earth? Because potential new types could be on Earth too, so if that's Xavier's whole thing about, like, the future of new types, and apparently only Cassilia can deliver on it, I don't know, but it just seems like, you know, he goes from wanting, you know, Xeon to be, like, you know, one fighting unit versus, you know, oh, we're gonna start a rebellion now.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Xavier is also kind of someone who is a passenger a little bit.
He kind of is.
Although, like, for his purpose, like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, because he's not exactly the main character anyway.
Yeah.
Nor is he in the main character's group. So, he's kind of more the side character.
Yeah, and he's mostly static, except for, like, that one portion that we mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So I think he does his job. At the same time, there's contradiction in that, though.
Yeah, and he is a nice enough guy.
Oh yeah, like when Nian, like, you know, tells him off about wanting to, like, try her food, it's just like, wow, that was unnecessary.
That was very unnecessary. He's just trying to be nice.
And he's probably, like, the nicest person you've been around in Xeon. I mean, give or take Cassilia because she made her dinner, I guess, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, he actually cares about you. You know, he could have, like, said, you know, Miguel would never do that, I'm not going to listen to you. But no, he trusted her enough to actually, you know, check out and see what was going on, so. It's like, you know, Xavier actually kind of cares about you. Don't be a jerk to him.
Yeah, he's someone who's very naive,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not a bad guy.
No.
I guess that's kind of his character.
Yeah, and you feel a little bit bad for him, especially at the beginning, because he's getting his butt kicked every time. Like, he doesn't know how to be a good spy or anything. He's trying to get his mobile suit back, but he's not very good at that. So when you at least see him get the Gian and he actually does, you know, show he's a competent pilot, it just kind of makes you feel good about him at least.
Yeah. Let's see. I think the only major players would be the Pomeranians left.
Yeah, because even Char you can't really say, because...
Char's pretty static.
Yeah.
Like, he's his one-year war self. Maybe a little less devious, but...
Yeah, and maybe, you know, seeing the other side of time, like he says he can see time after the Nova happens, maybe that enlightens him a little bit more to what's going on. Of course, apparently, you know.
Yeah, but he still has his goal to
Kill the zombies.
And yeah, he's pretty much just original Char. That's pretty much all he is.
Yep. And he's cool. I love Char, but because Shalia is in the series consistently and, you know, he gets to be the GOAT all the time, that's why he's my favorite character in this.
Yep. Now, the Pomeranians, I don't really have much to say about them either. In fact, I kind of forget some of their names.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones who stood out to me were Anki, and then I can't remember the other guy who told Machu to...
Yeah, to not come
Yeah.
to the next battle.
At least he had a little bit of a heart to know, like, hey, we're about to screw you guys over, like, just don't come.
I can't remember the name of the guy with the dog.
Yeah, the actual, like, owner person or whatever.
Yeah.
No idea. But I'm glad we moved away from the clan battles as fast as we did.
Yeah.
Now, if we were going to make the series longer, if we could add in a few more episodes, I'd probably add at least one more episode in that kind of clan battle arc, just so we had more interaction between the three, you know, Machu, Nian, and Shuji, but honestly, we didn't need much of the Pomeranians themselves. They're just kind of there to kind of facilitate Machu participating in clan battles, so they're kind of there. I think, as I pointed out earlier, they put someone like Anki in, you know, Machu's way just to show her that, you know, you could end up being like her if, you know, you don't change your ways or something, but, you know, unfortunately, she doesn't get shot, which I think she should have, but...
Yeah.
That's all I can really say. I don't know, do you want to say anything about Shiko that you haven't said?
Not really. I think I kind of all said it.
Can't think of anybody else, like, character-wise.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you want to go into, like, plot things?
Yeah, like, what, like cons, or?
Pros, cons, whatever?
Okay, well, that's what we were kind of doing, but...
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I guess cons... One con would be the episode count. It's way too short.
Oh, yeah.
If this had the episode count of Gquuuuuux, it'd be better.
So much better. They could
so much
expand it.
Get way more answers.
Just to even get, like, more character development, like I said, if they had, like, another, like, episode during, like, the clan battle phase to kind of show, like, the dynamics between the three of them more, I would have liked that. We don't need necessarily more clan battles than what we got, because, like I said, we kind of get it over with, which is fine with me. It's just kind of the vehicle that kind of brings them together.
Just kind of up the level of intrigue a little bit. Like, have, like, an arc with the Titans, actually. Not just 2 episodes with them. Maybe, like, a small arc with Shiko. Maybe, like, 2 to 3 episodes.
Maybe 2. I don't know if you need 3 of her.
Well, it kind of depends on how you would write it, but that's why I'm thinking like 2 to 3.
Like, if we had, like, maybe even, like, just 5 more episodes added into the count, they could have done a lot more. Like, we could have had, like, the mini kind of, like, Machu on Earth kind of arc where she just doesn't just meet Lala, but other things. So, I know that in the Q&A, they were talking about, like, meeting Miharu and then Kai together. I don't know how he would have met her, but, like, they would have been together. Miharu would have been, like, a intelligence officer in Zeon. And then secretly working under Shalia, so we would have gotten that connection to, like, hey, we need to set up, you know, the ruler for Artesia. So we would have gotten that information.
Yeah, we could have, you know, actually set that up as something to reveal instead of just bringing it up out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I would, like, if I had even just a couple more episodes, I would have added, like, the Machu on Earth arc. Just to, you know, even if it was just 1 more or 2 more episodes of her kind of, like, you know, going different places to meet different people, and then, you know, that last one could have been meeting Lala and eventually finding the rose, but, like, her just in her core fighter, you know, just trying to get around. Maybe, you know, we get to see more of the Earth forces. Maybe she gets attacked by them because she goes in their space or something. I don't know, but just having some more episodes to kind of, like, explore her, explore the world, explore the Earth itself, explore, like, this whole subplot of Shalia needing to get Artesia on the throne. That could have been covered in, like, 2 or 3 episodes on Earth.
Yeah. So much more could have been covered if the episode count was longer.
I wish it was like you said, it's a pro and a con. Like this world makes me want to have more things, but like
But we don't
have the time.
those things. Like
Yeah.
we can't have those things.
Like, can you imagine if like we gotten the same count as Gquuuuuux? Oh my gosh, we could have gotten so much more world building, and like it doesn't even need like 20 some episodes. We need like at least 15 or like maybe 20, but like Gquuuuuux had what? How many? Like 24 or something.
Yeah, I think so.
So those extra episodes would have helped so much. Like, if I could have, like, I would switch Gquuuuuux with Gquuuuuux to have the episode count extra, you know?
Yeah, definitely. This was way more interesting than Gquuuuuux.
Yes, so much more interesting.
Let's see, I guess another con would be pretty much a lot from just that last episode. I feel like that's where most of my cons come from.
Yeah, it's just, they try to pack so much in that last episode.
Yeah, so like, Artesia taking over Zeon, that's a con because they never set it up. Chalia attacking Char, that's a con because it's something that's never foreshadowed. I don't know, like, for me personally, the whole like Gundam growing thing is kind of weird. I think that's kind of a con.
It's not a con for me.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, I understand that those are like 3 cons out of like the whole series. But those are like very big things that should have been alluded to way earlier. That kind of messes up the landing for how this series ends up.
Well, I'm not like, I don't hate that the Gundam grew. They already confirmed it in like their Q&A, so it's like a tribute to another Tomino series. I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Or a Battler Dumbine. I haven't watched it yet, but essentially they can, you know, increase the size through like aura and stuff. I don't think they physically do it though. It's kind of like more of a manifestation, kind of like, you know, like the whole judo thing when he gets huge and when he has the new type reaction.
Well, yeah, but that's like more of a like a spiritual kind of thing. This is actually making something physical like increase in size and mass.
No, and I get that, but at the same time, like Gundam is not. I guess there's a lot of weird things that Gundams can do. Like we had the time travel thing. Like there's like so many supernatural things can happen with these mobile suits that it's like, I'm okay with it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess this just kind of like goes over for me. It kind of goes over the line.
I'm okay with it, and I get the reference to the Tomino series. I'm pretty sure it has some Evangelion like reference to it too, with like the giant rays that happen. So I was okay with the Gundam turning big.
Let's see other cons. I don't know. I don't like the design of the Gquuuuuux. But, I don't. What cons do you have?
One of my big ones is that we didn't get to see anything about Girin's like whole new type kind of cloning thing.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
If they had just did like a silhouette shot of like people on the Big Zam and they had like the silhouettes of like Puru or Glemmy in there, that would have been like a really cool Easter egg just to have, and that would have, you know, actually paid off for that setup that they had. So, unfortunately, we just didn't get to see that. And we don't, you know, all of Girin's forces are pretty much destroyed after that too, so.
Yeah, they kind of set that up and they never pay it off.
So that would have been cool to see them in like the Big Zams, like battling everyone. Obviously, the Gians would have had a, you know,
advantage.
A way bigger advantage because of mobility and weapons and stuff, but, you know. That I think that would have just solved my problem with that one little thing that got left out.
Yeah.
Any other cons you can think of?
I don't believe so. It's just really that last episode, and of course the Puru thing.
Do you think there could be a season 2?
There could be. They kind of set up the possibility. There's also, the Titans. Bascom is still alive.
Yeah. And honestly, like I said, if you guys want to give us more episodes, and we're on Earth now, Machu is on Earth, Nan's on Earth, so if you want to,
Char's on Earth.
Yeah, Char's on Earth. But, like, if you guys want to show us, like, the state of the world after everything happens, that would be really good. You have a lot to work with, so we don't know exactly what the Zeon army looks like right now, because Cassilia's guards are dead. Baoku is gone with their main fleet. So they're in, like, a really precarious situation, and then they used all the capital on Yomantho to build it, too. So we don't know what the whole situation for Artesia is going into actually ruling Zeon. But it doesn't look too good. And like we said, like the Titans, we know Bosk is still alive. He's somewhere.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
We don't know.
The Murasame lab still exists.
Yeah. We don't know anything about the Earth Forces because we didn't see the Earth Federation post 1 Year War in this scenario. Minus Boscombe, but it's like we don't know anything about the state of Earth. We just barely got there.
You don't know anything about the Earth Federation.
Yeah. So, you have plenty of to work with. If you want to do season 2, then maybe, you could pay off on some of the things that you didn't get to pay off on, like, who is Shuji or what is Shuji, and,
Yeah. If they do a season 2, I want them to focus more on the world and the possible conflict that emerges.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any more of this, like parallel, like, other side, whatever. Like, that should be solved now, theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically. Yeah, they did talk about, too, like, how Lala was causing, like, the Zeknovas, and I guess that there were random ones that happened, too, which I would have liked to see that more.
Yeah.
Just to see kind of the degradation that Char was talking about in the universe.
I made this joke where, like, she, like, turns over in her sleep and, like, another Zeknova happens, or...
She sneezes.
Yeah.
And just random Zeknovas happen, but, like, if we saw, like, just random, like, Zeknovas happening, like, on Earth or, like, in space or something, and, we know, like, yeah, the universe is screwed unless Char actually sends her back. So that would have been nice to have seen on the screen.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that might be it for me, honestly. Do you think of any more cons, or... it could be pros, too. Whichever one.
Ooh. I mean, even though it has its flaws, especially in that last episode, I still really liked it.
It's still a very fun ride. The problem is really just that last episode. Like, it doesn't stick the landing as well as it should.
Yeah, and I would say, like we said, the last episode is probably the weakest out of all of them. But, like, the ride up to it is really good. I just wish they would have stuck, like, some of the concepts that they had thought of before. Like, giving Machi more people to meet on Earth and stuff. I know there was even talk about her meeting Matilda and Woody, so they would have been alive. It's like, why... Honestly, like, why in some of these Zeon, like, scenarios where they win, why do, like, so many people get to live? It's just kind of funny. It would have been kind of nice, too, to just have, like, kind of like that Gihren's Greed thing where, like, you kind of see, like, we don't have to talk about these characters, but, like, see, like, what they're doing at that time. So, like, how, like, you would have, like, I don't know, Shiro and Aino are picking the apples from the tree or something, just to kind of, like, see, like,
and he has all his limbs.
Yeah. Just to kind of, like, peer into, like, what, like, some of the other characters are doing at this time. I mean, there's just so many people we never got to, like, even see. Even on from the Zeon side. I don't know, maybe Ana Volgato got, like, Zeknovid with a Baoku, for all we know. That kind of sucked.
Yeah, that would really suck. Hopefully Nina was there too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've said all I have to say.
Yeah, the only reason that's kind of a low kind of demand for me with the character, just kind of scrolling through and kind of showing people where they're at that time, just because it doesn't need to be about them. Like, everybody else in the Universal Century had their own show.
Yep.
We don't know if Bright's still alive, but if we saw him somewhere, then that'd be kind of cool. But he's not the main focus here, so that's kind of just like a little thing I'd kind of want a little bit more Easter eggs. It was kind of funny, like how we picked out like Moscom and stuff. Like, oh, I know who he is.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun seeing like some of like those. You wouldn't expect to have them as an Easter egg, essentially, characters.
Yeah. I don't know. We just get Johnny Raiden.
Yeah, Johnny Raiden should be there.
Season 2, it's Johnny Raiden.
Well, my hope is that, I don't know, somehow Char went back for the rest of the Red Gundam, he rebuilt it, and then, like, he just has it in a secret hangar. He's just secretly hanging out with, like, Garma on Earth.
Couch surfing with Garma.
And yeah, I don't think Garma would, like, show up and be an obstacle to, like, Artesia. I seriously doubt, like, he even cares about taking up the whole Zeon mantle.
I'm gonna say again, I don't see why Shalia was just didn't say like, hey, we're backing your sister Artesia, but if you want to join us, that'd be cool.
Well, and from other Gundam series too, it's like Char doesn't want to play the politician part.
He doesn't want to be a politician. Like that's kind of his whole deal in Zeta. Like, he doesn't want to lead AU.
Yeah, no, he just likes to kind of be the muscle, then forces it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I could see him just kind of being like the secret like guard to Artesia or something, just kind of in the shadows, because he doesn't want to deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's probably better for his mental state anyway.
Rumbarall sees him and he's like, "Are you Casval?" There's that whole spiel.
Yeah. I would really like to see how Rumbarall, like, is like, I guess basically second in command to Artesia. He's like her royal guard kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. And unfortunately, we don't get to see like Hamid or something, Like, he needs his lady. He needs his crew.
Yeah, just bring the whole crew with him. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, my biggest thing is that, like, if we had Gquuuuuux episode count, even less than that, and we had more time to just kind of explore, especially the world, and because we know, and I guess it'd be interesting to ask somebody who hasn't watched the first Gundam, I guess, to know what they thought about, like, the world building in Gquuuuuux, but, like, I think it's because we know so much about, like, what happens. Like, we know, like, this person's alive, what's going on with these people, that we're so curious about, like, what's going on in the rest of the world, but...
That is a very good point. I wish I could ask someone who has never watched the original Gundam or has any knowledge of it.
To see what they thought about it.
Yeah, but everyone I know doesn't watch Gundam, so...
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they thought about the world building, because we as fans of Gundam already know, like, what's going on here. I guess as a pro too, I could add that the multiverse thing with the Zek Novas makes so much more sense than the Dark History. It's one of those things from Turn A that I do not like at all. And I know that they did a special video too, where basically Amuro and Lala are talking about, how the Turn A basically wakes up, demolishes the society, and then we start over again. It's just like, no, that does not work. Like, all these alternate series, like, Gundam X is a much different scenario. Like, that kind of follows, like, the regular Gundam, but, you know, all those colonies get dropped on Earth, so it's like, yeah, just the Gundam X running around, you know, just doesn't, like, make sense to me for these things to be happening, like, for all these worlds to be connected. So, something like the Zeknova, that rips open, like, the universe or something, makes it, like, more plausible for, like, characters to me. I know they did, like, for the 40th anniversary, they did, like, the Beyond stuff where, you know, characters from different universes would meet each other. If they're gonna go that route, this makes way more sense than Dark History.
Yeah.
And that video is, let's see, it's like the Light of Life Chronicle UC. And I think it was basically like an extra video on those, like, you know, UC box sets that they give you in Japan. But essentially it just goes over the Universal Century timeline, and then all of a sudden, like, we see, like, the Turn A with, you know, Amuro and Lala watching, and it's just like, yeah, it's gonna destroy some, you know, humanity again. And then we start over again. And then it destroys humanity again. And then we start over again. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense, and it makes everything seem very futile.
It does, yeah. It really does not give you any hope for Gundam, like, in the Gundam universe.
What's even the point then?
And then in even this one, they're adding up into, like, Iron-Blooded Orphans, and it's like, no. Those don't make any sense in, like, the original timeline, especially, like, 00 is in AD.
Yeah.
So, how would that have happened before the Universal Century started? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, like, having, like, the Zeknova thing to actually make multiverses, like, accessible to people, that makes way more sense. And I don't know, like, I know not all Gundam series have new types or anything in them, but, like, even I think just strong, like, human wills, just, you know, like, breaking open, you know, the universe briefly or something, that would make more sense to me than, you know.
It's their serene state of mind.
Yes. G Gundam, it's the serene state of mind. And Wing, I don't know, like, an overload of the Zero system, I don't know, but this... If you're gonna do multiversal crossovers with your other Gundam series, this makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Don't do the Dark History. We can, we'll probably get to that when we eventually review Turn A Gundam, but, like...
It's gonna take a while, but we
Yeah.
will get to Turn A Gundam.
It's just one of those things that really nags me, and how they've tried to, like, build up, like, oh, we're all on the same timeline, and, like, society just essentially just demolished by the Turn A again. It's like, no, it's not what I want to think about it. And you know what? I can actually, before I forget, guys, if you want to watch about, like, the adaptations of, like, 0079 Gundam, it's from the user. His name is Overadapted. But he's, like, on part 1 of going through, like, the manga and the movie and the TV series for the regular Gundam series. I know that next time we want to start, like, watching, like, the regular OG series, we won't go into in-depth as much as that, but, like, you know.
Yeah, we're not going to go as in-depth as we are here.
Because there's already been spoilers, like, I don't know, it's, like, since 79 is when it came out, so.
If anything, our rewatch and subsequent talk about 0079 Gundam is going to be way more laid back. Kind of, probably just more or less us just kind of joking around.
Yeah, just kind of, like, going through the stuff we really liked about it, or, you know.
Stuff that works, stuff that doesn't.
Yeah.
We won't really care about spoilers as much.
Really not. And of course, we don't have any, you know, theories to make because
it's all right there.
Yeah, it's kind of already written. We already know what's going to happen, so.
Yeah, it's just us just hanging out.
But okay, so let's just wrap this up.
Yep, let's wrap this up. This is already like over 2 hours.
Oh my god.
The Mega Ultra review.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off,
final thoughts.
Before we get to that,
yeah,
we got your kill count.
Oh yeah, we do have the kill count.
What do you got, Amy? I know you added some.
All right.
Hello, this is future us here. We made a little bit of a mistake. So we did not include Char in our kill count originally.
Yeah, so we're going to include the flashback of when Lala kind of starts all of this and Char dies in the Gquuuuuux. But we're only doing that one death because even though they kind of give us like a list of like mobile suits or scenarios where Char has still died for Lala, we don't know exactly how many times this has happened.
Yeah, so we're only counting him once.
Alright, so
Alright.
just going over it again. Well, I guess this is the first time for you guys, but episode 2, we got Dozel, we got Captain Paulo. Episode 4, we got Shiko. Episode 5 is Gaia and Ortega. Episode 6 is the police / investigators from Side 6. They were given profiles on the Gquuuuuux website. So one of them is named Ward. He has the glasses, and then the other one is Chai Chi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Episode 7, we've got Gates and Dew. Episode 8, we've got Miguel, and then Cassilia's attendant who was with her during the Psycho Gundam attack. He got a profile page. I think he pronounces his name Atharv. Who knows, but yeah, he got named. Episode 10, we've got Admiral Chapman, we've got Cecilia, we've got Guerin, we've got Tirza, and then Dr. Leone, who got smashed by the G-Fred. And then episode 12, with our new count, we've got Char, who is in that flashback getting killed in the OG Gquuuuuux. We've got Cassilia, and we've got Mulligan. So now that brings us up to 19 kills.
Yes, 19.
I felt so stupid for not even including, even thinking of including that Char kill.
It's not till I was editing when I was thinking about it.
Yeah, then we just had the epiphany that we're like, oh shoot. But yeah, so I think you have something special planned for our kill count, right, Josh?
Yep, that's gonna be coming up. Back to your regularly scheduled long review.
Thanks for letting us edit this, guys.
Bye.
We will have kill counts for all the Gundam reviews we do, including the series like Gundam the series versus Gundam the movie trilogy, because there are different kill counts.
Yep, so for example, Makuve dies in the TV series, but he doesn't die yet in the movie version.
Nope.
He actually kind of dies off screen, so we can't really count that.
Yeah, so...
And, yeah, we can't count that because it's not stated that he dies, right? So in the movie version, he dies in the escape of Abaoku, but you only read that through a manga.
Yeah, exactly. So it needs to be kind of on screen, or at least mentioned. We counted Dozel in this, but...
Yeah, because it's mentioned.
Plus Dozel's awesome.
Yep. I don't know. final thoughts, I guess.
Final thoughts?
All right, so my final thoughts is it's a very fun series, especially if you know OG Gundam very well, especially like Zeta and Char's counterattack as well. I am hesitant to give it. Oh, I'm stuck between a 6 and a 7 for Gquuuuuux. Maybe like a 6.5, but then I also kind of want to give it a 7. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck right there. So I'm thinking right now maybe 6.5. And that's mostly just because how kind of wobbly the ending was. It didn't really stick the landing as good as it should have.
Yeah, I'm probably the same in the thoughts of that. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was fun to make theories every week, and of course, probably majority of my theories were not right, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, it's a good ride, and then going back, of course, and rewatching it too. Like there wasn't like a whole bunch of criticisms, but like, oh my god, I wish there was more. I wish there was more. Like, if you guys want to do a season 2, and like I said, kind of like answer up on some of those following questions that we had, or like, you know, minor criticisms like the clones not being, you know, shown, I am all up for it. Like, you have my attention, you can do it, you know? Overall, I'd probably say it's a 7 out of 10. Really fun. I feel like, I would say out of the 3 characters, I did like Machu a lot. She definitely felt really very real for being, you know, kind of more of a teenager of, I guess, the modern era, I guess you would say. But she does come off as very likable. I probably do like the glare thing. She does a whole bunch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you probably do.
So, yeah, she was speaking. She's like my spirit animal speaking to me, I guess. I don't know. It's just other ridiculous things that you could tell like this Gundam series was made by people who were actually fans of the Gundam series.
Yeah, like actually fans of it. They self-reference a ton.
Yeah, and even just other of Tomino's works too. So
yeah, it's not ashamed to be a Gundam show.
No, not at all. So you can tell this was made by people who really love Gundam, and I very much appreciate that. Especially like, there are so many series now, like Star Trek or Star Wars or Doctor Who, and you can tell that these people don't like the old, you know, like the history that was built off of them.
Yeah, they don't respect the history that it was built off of. Like, they just completely get rid of lore. And
in this one, even though they're trying new characters, you know, they're adding it into the Universal Century, which we already know.
Yeah.
They still respect what that Universal Century was built on.
Yeah.
Which I very much appreciate. And, you know, like I said, through the animation and stuff, you can tell, like, these people really, really enjoyed what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you get, like, these really weird, like, Easter egg references, like the whole Sazabi thing, too, and,
oh,
you know,
yeah, like the Sazabi concept.
Yeah,
art.
So I really do love those touches, and, you know, we're Gundam fans, but, like, we haven't seen all of, like, Tomino's other works, or, like, we don't have access to all that, like, Gundam manga or other lore that, you know, that's not available in America, so...
Yeah, like, for example, I still have not watched Victory Gundam. There's not really a good place for me to watch it.
Yeah, and I've only watched, like, when we were, like, back in, like, I guess the torrent days, like, we'd get some episodes, but then we'd be missing others in between. That's kind of like my Gundam X experience, too, where I watch it and it was, like, really bad fan subs.
Yeah, and then I bought, like, a DVD collection at Comic-Con, and they were obviously bootlegs. Because the subtitles are like going off of the screen.
Yeah,
so I can only tell like half of what they're saying.
So even though we're Gundam fans, we're still learning a lot about different things in Gundam. So, you know, just seeing those like Easter egg references of, you know, things that we had to look up again too to see what they actually meant. It's a really deep lore dive. So I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed that these people who made this series actually love Gundam and stuck in so much stuff in there because, you know, you know, you would have thought about it, you know, to add some of those things in there. I mean, we talked about like Moscom just showing up, like it's like, oh yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, this guy. I didn't think he'd show up.
but he did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. The last episode kind of falters a lot in what they could have done.
Yeah, it fumbles a little bit.
Yeah. But, you know, like I said, if they want to give us a season 2, then I'm not going to complain. Please do it.
Honestly, if they did a season 2 and it went really well, like that could possibly boost up season 1 a little bit.
Yeah, it could. Especially if you kind of answered those questions in between.
Yeah.
It would just be really nice to see kind of some of those things built up. Like, you know, maybe we finally, you know who Shuji is. Like I said, I don't need to know if he's a different character, but I need to know, like, what his circumstances of
like
getting
what
there.
his relationship to Lala actually is.
Yeah, and then if they're gonna find him, maybe we can go revisit that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say 7 out of 10. It's very fun. I'm still waiting on my Red Gundam. I know that the Endymion mode for the Gquuuuuux is going to come out in Gunpla. I might order that one. Because it kind of looks cool. So. I'm kind of in like the... I'm like in the... You know, I kind of like the mechs, but like I'm kind of like... They're not like one of my favorites. Yeah.
It's like, they're okay.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on my Red Gundam, just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
that's it?
Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Alright, well, before we wrap things up, I want to give a quick shout out to Rolson6336. Comment on our last video. He says, I've really enjoyed following along through the show since episode 4. My wife, kids, and friends put up with my Gundam love, but they don't watch the show. So getting to listen to two fans have interesting reviews has been fun. Thanks for the great show.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man, you are awesome. You're always welcome to like ask us any questions or anything like that.
Yeah, and like join us for like our dive through, you know, the first Gundam series. We're gonna do that. It's not gonna be in depth like, you know, review, but it's gonna be just kind of a fun watch through and us kind of pointing out what we liked and, you know, what we didn't like. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Just kind of like we jumped in with Gquuuuuux and it was kind of like stressful because we had to make sure, like, you know, our reviews got out on time, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like a lot going on.
Yeah, it was kind of stressful because like this is the first time we were kind of doing something like this.
Yeah, and I'm sure.
And I tried to so we both tried to prep as well as we could, but
like I'm not a script person, so I know like my thoughts can go off like really just weird sometimes, and I say stupid things, so I'm okay with that, but.
Yeah, if I do any kind of like lore or mobile suit development, I'm definitely gonna have to do a script, but I can't do scripts otherwise. It just sounds kind of stale.
It does, yeah, and like especially since these are reactions to episodes, it's like, eh.
Make it as authentic as possible.
Yeah, we try to do that. I know that like I said, I can go off on like the stupidest things ever, and I'm sure like in the game reviews that you do, like. I'm just randomly talking about stuff.
Oh yeah, and the gameplay.
He's usually the ones at the controls, so you know, I'm just the one like making comments on the videos. Like I play like G-Generation, Eternal, and stuff, but like he's the one who's taking the helm at that time, so I'm just the one who's making like comments in the background.
Yeah, it's my account that we're using. I don't know. Definitely type in the chat when I eventually get live streams going. I'll definitely have a back and forth with you then.
Yeah, and we might do some Rumble stuff too, because if we play certain games.
Oh yeah, if we play certain games, you're gonna be swearing a lot. So we'll definitely have to put some of those on a different site other than YouTube.
you know, it's just authentic reaction. That's all. Oh man. So anything coming out that you can think of before we end this?
Not really. Seed Recollection should either end this week or next week. Let me know if you guys want another Gundam game or if you want something different, because I can do something different.
Yeah, we were thinking about playing just like random games on a day.
Yeah.
And like really stupid ones too.
Yeah, some really stupid ones. We have some lined up actually.
So we'll probably do that, and that's probably another reason why we might have to do some stuff on Rumble.
Yeah.
So if we do post it on YouTube, it might have to be just, you know, slightly censored out. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to beep out a lot of the stuff you say.
I think we still have shorts to do, right, too, for the Gunpla we're making.
Yeah, I still have some shorts to do.
And after we got this done, this was like the big project.
Yeah, this was the big project. And then these last few weeks I was busy with stuff outside of this.
Yeah, he was doing stuff for work, so... Ugh. I think now we can finally kind of like decompress.
Yeah, decompress and focus again.
Yeah, Gquuuuuux is done. We'll start going through Gundam soon, and like I said, that's more of a fun thing, so we don't have to like, you know, we don't have to be like on such like a timeline where we can't do other things. And,
on such a tight leash.
Yeah. And then we're building Gunpla. We're gonna play games. We're gonna probably start like Rumble, and then of course do more social media stuff because we want to get that started. So.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, that's all I can think of as well, honestly.
Yay. Oh, I guess we're glad that you guys stuck with us through Gquuuuuux. We know this is a really long video because we kind of went through the whole series again to kind of get our thoughts, so we appreciate you listening to the end for sure.
Yeah. I wasn't quite sure how to structure this, so we just kind of ended up going through everything again.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe we'll have like a skip thing, like where you can like skip over the I guess backstory of Gquuuuuux and then we go into like our actual thoughts of it or something.
Yeah, I'll definitely try looking into timestamps.
Yeah, because like that first part of it is just kind of us recapping it, so
yeah.
All right. Yeah, thanks for following us. We'll get other things up soon. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that button like Sled hits that dude into tomato paste. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of tired now.
It's a long discussion.
It's a very long discussion.
We're gonna end it now, so we don't have... It's not any longer, though.
Yeah.
Alright, sign off, Josh.
Alright, this has been Josh.
And this is Amy.
For Gundam of Gundams. See y'all later.
Bye.